In this video, you will come to know about 2 marks question answer from chapter 2 of Jane Austen's novel Pride and Prejudice. Question: what is Lydia's response to Mrs. Bennet saying that Mr. Bingley would dance with Lydia at a ball which is going to be held? Answer: Lydia, in response to Mrs. Bennet's saying that Mr. Bingley would dance with Lydia at a ball which is going to be held, says that she is not afraid to dance with Mr. Bingley or to be chosen by him as his wife. Her smartness, as evident in the response, is striking. Question: who is Mrs. Long? Why would she not, according to Mrs. Bennet, introduce Mr. Bingley to the daughter of Mrs. Bennet? Answer: Mrs. Long is a neighbour of Mrs. Bennet. According to Mrs. Bennet, Mrs. Long would not introduce Mr. Bingley to her daughters because she has 2 nieces of her own to be married. Question: how does Mrs. Bennet react to Mr. Bennet's paying a visit to Mr. Bingley's house? Answer: when Mrs. Bennet comes to know about Mr. Bennet's paying a visit to Mr. Bingley's house, she becomes highly excited. She says that it is a very good act on part of her husband to have paid a visit to Mr. Bingley and to have made acquaintance with him. Question: what are Mrs. Bingley's hopes regarding the ball to be held in the residence of Mr. Bingley? Answer: Mrs. Bingley hopes that in the ball to be held in the residence of Mr. Bingley, the latter will be drawn to Lydia, dance with her, and will choose her as his would-be wife. Question: what different views to Catherine's cuffing is provided by Mr. and Mrs. Bennet? Answer: according to Mrs. Bennet, Catherine's cuffing puts extreme pressure on her nerves and tears them to pieces. Mr. Bennet amusingly says that Catherine does not make any discrimination in cuffing in front of different people and suggests that she should do so. Thank you.